Welcome and a good morning to all of you watching us this morning. We're truly grateful that you can join us. Look, the fact that you're still awake means that you're still in the purpose of God, and all you need to do is to go out there and become a part of that big purpose, and remember to also affect someone positively today and be a part of the big blessing. Remember once again that you're alive and you're breathing, and that's enough to start the day. And so the worries can rest. The fact that you're alive and you're breathing, you're healthy, then that is the starting point. And so welcome to the show. This is Breakfast Live. My name is Kokulum, and I'm truly excited that we're here on a Monday morning serving you once again. Thanks for keeping faith with us on TV Africa. We're truly excited to have you. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook, TV Africa Online GH, so you can connect with us over there as you walk out of the house, in your trotro, in your taxi, even at work. You can catch glimpses of our interview. Of course, it's also saved for you to watch. But big things we're talking about today. We're asking the big question: is Doomsaw back? Are you having intermittent power outages? And where exactly? You're going to talk to us. And so if you're here with us on the channel, get to stay with us, because there's this discussion coming up. But of course, if you're just flipping through, stay with us as well. Call a friend to be part of the conversation. I want to know whether Doomsaw is back, because I will be having the communications of the PRO, or one of the PR communications officers at the Energy Ministry. He's a communications specialist, Kofi Abrefa. I find I will be joining me here. And of course, we'll also be connecting to MP for Yape Kuchegu constituency. Again, for those of you who have been watching the space, Honorable John Abdullah Jinapo issued a statement warning that there could be Doomsaw. There's imminent Doomsaw up our sleeves, or of course Doomsaw in the offing. And so we'll get to also touch base with him via Zoom. And then later on in the show as well, Yvonne Nelson and of course Anthony Wood will be joining us. Of course, actress and actor. They have a movie coming up. So we'll talk about Ghana filmmaking and of course filmmakers in the middle of all of these while we talk about that movie as well. So coming up, I'm asking what is the state of Ghana's energy sector? But most importantly, is Doomsaw back? Are you having intermittent power outages wherever you are? I'll get to open the phone lines at some point so that we can connect and feed ourselves with information that helps us greatly. And so welcome to the show. We're truly grateful that you can be part of it. Remember, you are the biggest part of it as well. That's why you need to be sending us messages and also gear up to also call us. But if you're still in your rented apartment and you want to own a land, there is a need to own your land. Remember, we are still running an initiative, and that's from JATJ Real Estate and Constructions Company Limited. With as low as 4,000 Ghana cedis, you acquire a half plot of land at Winneba. Of course, 6,000 Ghana cedis, a plot of land at Akramai. Now, you can, upon purchase of these lands, you get free blocks, cement, iron roads, and of course digging on the land is also free. Now the plots are also serviced with power and available water. They do site locations on Fridays and Saturdays at 7 a.m. Locate their office after the Kaswa toll booth at the Galilea bus stop. Call these numbers and book an appointment, all right? 0548 456 911 or 0543 778 085. And then you can book an appointment and you're good to go. Now, for every activity you're going to undertake this week, starting from today, please ensure that you have water, enough water in your system, all right? And if it is water, let it be always awake, because with every bottle of awake you purchase, you donate 1 peso to the Kolibus Cardiothoracic Center. Now, that's why you need to drink more water and let it always be awake. Now, if you have difficulties in hearing, there are issues with your ears, it could be with your child, your son, your daughter, your siblings, people find it difficult to connect with you, especially when they are talking to you. If you have to turn on your volume on your TV set or your radio set high before you could hear, then you should know you have a problem. And so walk to Chris Park Hearing Center today. They're located at Hotema, Kumasi, Takrady, and of course here in Accra. Call these numbers to book an appointment or to make inquiries. 0248-878-057 or 0244-675-962. Now, remember that in this times where you want to swerve the e-levy, all you need to do is to be on Vodafone, the Vodafone side of life. And that's why you need to get onto Vodafone if you are not there yet. Just get a SIM, register your Momo, Vodafone Momo, and dial *110 hash, *110 hash, and then send money without any extra charges. And that's what it is. That's what it is. You don't pay. The others are charging you more in addition to the e-levy. Of course, on Vodafone, we charge you nothing, and that's why you need to be on the Vodafone side of life. Now, from today, watch this space. Watch this space, all right? I'm back to the African mode, and so I'm going to be doing African all throughout, my African linen and print all throughout. And that's coming from Coffee Gold. And I'll get to walk you into the world of Coffee Gold pretty soon. And of course, all throughout, you're going to be seeing me in Coffee Gold attires. If you need as sweet as this, linen, long sleeves, anything, it could go for any event at all. Funeral, baby christening, weddings, and all that. With any designs, any of our symbols are as well on it. Call these numbers. Call this number 0244-786-392. 0244-786-392 is the number to call and get yourself one of these Coffee Gold attires, and I'm too sure you will not regret it, just as I am doing. Well, welcome to the conversation. I'm asking, and it's a simple one, is Dumso back? I want us to gauge the mood out there, and of course the situation out there. That could tell us where we're going next, because there's a communication specialist in the studio. He's with the Ministry of Energy. Kofi Abrefafena is my guest today. Later on in the show as well, we'll be connecting with Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo, who is MP Yape Kushego constituency. Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, my brother.
Is this the first time?
Absolutely.
Oh, first time here?
Yeah, but this is my first time seeing you.
Okay, right, okay. But first time in the studio.
That's right.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, my brother.
Absolutely.
You look good.
Right, yeah. So you want me to tell you? Oh, you're wearing Vodafone, so Afena is Vodafone today and it's looking sharp. Charlie, Energy Ministry is treating you well.
No, you need to pay me something. You're capitalizing on my red tie. You need to pay me something.
I'll do that. Of course, this is also signifying what we did over the weekend as well. You know what that means, right? You know I'm going to talk about it. For those of you who say, Koku will not speak about it, he should forget. It's a lie. We won. We won the FA Cup. And for those of you who were doubters, doubting Thomases, we won. And we're going to take the UEFA Champions League as well. And that's where you'll be. Oh, I can hear my director already struggling with me on the other side.
I am hesitant to say congratulations.
Oh, you should be in pain. Anyways, thank you very much for joining us. There's a big issue out there on whether or not Dumso is back, whether or not it's in the offing, whether or not it's imminent. And for us, we need answers. Very frank answers and replies from the ministry, not the one that is expedient politically, because again, people's businesses, lives are on this particular phenomenon of energy. And so I want us to be frank with ourselves. First of all, is it okay when people calling or people who have said that there are intermittent power outages out there, is it okay to term it Dumso?
Good morning, my brother. And I would like to say good morning to the viewers of TV Africa this morning. Indeed, I'm happy that you started on a note that we need to be truthful. Indeed, as a Vandal, our maxim is truth stands. So at every point in time, I think that we must be truthful, because that is the essence of leadership. That is the essence of democracy. I mean, you are carrying people on a certain bandwagon, and at all times they need to be kept in the loop as to what exactly is happening.
All right.
To the extent that you are dealing with equipment, you are dealing with machines. I mean, occasionally there could be trips here and there. To the extent that Ghana is not yet there. I mean, in terms of changing over seamlessly from one transmission as we have in other jurisdictions. I mean, there could be some occasional trips, I mean, dropping gas pressure and all that. So these intermittent challenges are there. But you cannot say it is doomsday, because the pervasive doomsday that plagued this country some time ago, between 2013 and 2016, I mean, plunged Ghana into very serious difficulties. I mean, that cannot in any way be compared to occasional trips here and there, because industry suffered, I mean, residences suffered, and it was a huge difficulty for Ghanaians. And that is the very reason why it is understandable that whenever Ghanaians hear the word doomsday, it sends some shivers down their spines. The Ministry of Energy would like to put on record, and we want to be very unequivocal, that doomsday is never going to be back. Ghana has enough generation capacity, the data, and you know, we always talk about things, I mean, supported by available facts and data. The data currently will never point to the risk of doomsday.
How must the intermittent power outages be widespread or be continuous to be able to term it doomsday? Because again, people have called in to say, look, week in, week out, we've been out of the grid twice or three times. And so I'm asking myself, if this is just one of those issues that have to do with our machines or whatever it is that transmits this power, why is it continuous? Why is it a bit perennial, if you like? Because it comes in with the calls we've had.
My brother, I don't think it is continuous. I would disagree with you when you say it is continuous. Because the pervasive doomsday that happened some time ago was purely because of some three factors. Poor hydrology, inadequate supply to our thermal plants, I mean in terms of gas, and also financial challenges. The doomsday that happened between 2013 and 2016 was as a result of these three factors. Now, in terms of the hydrology, currently the Bui solar plant is on stream, 50 megawatts has been commissioned. It is to help curb overdrafting of the Bui Dam, and it is as part of efforts to hybridize our hydro resources. The second point is that now we do not have the phenomenon of gas being stranded in the east. Now we have Tema Takoradi interconnection project ensuring that gas now flows from the west to the east. The LNG project will also ensure that we import natural gas. And then finally, the financial, which people kept on disagreeing with as the main cause of doomsday, has now been kept by this government with what we call the cash waterfall mechanism. Now, the cash waterfall mechanism allows for liquidity among the players in the power value chain. Extend that all the time they are liquid, and then we reduce what we call inter-utility indebtedness. So these were the factors that caused the pervasive doomsday. Now, you could hear some people talking about the fact that, I mean, there's likely to be shortages in terms
so
of...
we'll come to that.
Yes,
those are things I would unpack later.
Absolutely.
So we'll drive towards that quickly, because of course, weeks ago as well, the former power minister of, if you like, energy minister, Mr. Kwabena Donkor, also spoke about it. And of course,
his former deputy.
Yes, of course, now followed with a statement clearly with the data you were looking for. But of course, you disagreed, and we'll come to that.
Absolutely.
But what do you make of, I don't know if you saw the interview with the sister station, Dr. Awekubrobi, also speaking to that particular effect. Of course, he's being an expert in this field. And he's speaking to that effect as well, that indeed there could be, I get the sense it was not direct, but there could be, if you like.
No, I mean, that sense? That's the point I'm making, that, I mean, people could make all kinds of insinuations, I mean, on the back of, reasons best known to them. But once again, what does the data say? I mean, people want to situate their argument within the context of our current generation capacity. What does the data say? Current installed capacity of 5,265.1 megawatts, dependable capacity of 4,706, against projections of peak demand of 4,496. Even if you are to use the dependable capacity, and capacity, I'm talking about, let's akin the situation to your pen drive. When you get a pen drive, it is 16 gig, but what is available realistically for you to use is, let's say, 15.6. Even our dependable capacity, which is 4,706, at all times exceeds our peak demand. So if anybody, by a stretch of any imagination, we want to, if you like, connote that doomsaw is imminent. We state without the risk of contradiction that there is never going to be any doomsaw. Indeed, you can talk about, challenges here and there in the generation, transmission, and distribution value chain, which the Honorable Minister, Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh, is working assiduously on a daily basis to ensure that we surmount these challenges. We could talk about them, but for somebody to predict doomsaw is coming back, we reject that assertion, and we say that the data available does not support any such risk.
I see. Was there at any point in time, any press conference that pointed to the fact that the current challenges we're having has to do with money?
Absolutely.
By your ministry?
No, not by our ministry, but obviously the challenge we had definitely had to do. Not this time. Not this time. Not this time. No, not at all. That's why I've explained that currently, because of the vision and the assiduousness of the Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh-led Ministry of Energy, we currently rolling out the cash waterfall mechanism, as I said, which allows the very actors within our power value chain to stay liquid at all times. Because these thermal plants are powered with gas, and the gas is bought with money, So at all times there must be that liquidity amongst these players, and also a measure to reduce what we call inter-utility indebtedness. So this particular policy is in place to ensure that all the time they are liquid. So as far as this government is concerned, as far as the current times are concerned, the issue of financial, which was one of the reasons that plunged Ghana into that pervasive doomsaw, is never going to happen anymore.
I see.
Yes.
To start off on the note,
and don't forget, I also made a point about the issue of poor hydrology, which is currently also being settled because of the prudent management of our hydro resources. So, the doomsaw that happened, I state, with all authority, was as a result of a compendium of issues, and those issues, respectfully, are being dealt with, and some have already been dealt with.
Right. Now, let's go to the release, if you like, by the ranking member of Energy and Mines Committee.
Yeah.
All right. Honorable John Abdullah Jinapur. Of course, we're trying to connect with him to join us so that we can have a conversation, not a lopsided one. Again, the man here in the studio is doing the business of the Energy Ministry and not, if you like, the party. And so that is okay. But because he had put out that report, it's only okay to call him again to explain more. But you want to say something?
But you are aware that his statement has been rebutted.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
of course.
His statement has been rebutted by the Power Planning Technical Committee.
Absolutely.
That's right.
We'll come to that. We'll come to all of
yes.
that. All I'm just trying to ask.
And they've rebutted it purely from a very technical point of view.
Absolutely.
And they use data.
Right.
And these are people who are not partisan. These are people who are strictly professionals.
Right.
They have used the available data to rebut all his claims. And it's important that you let viewers know that we'll go into that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I have all of that in front of me.
That's right.
But before we take a break, are you telling me that none of what he has stated there, not even a single one, is true in that particular release?
all the points raised in that release has been rebutted purely from a technical point of view. And if you indeed have that statement by the Power Planning Technical Committee, you see that you will see that they even go on the route of not the typical PR people. They raise the issues, they answer. They raise the issue and they answer.
Right.
I mean, you're a communications practitioner. Absolutely. You know that ordinarily you would have gone a different route. Maybe you just say that our attention has been drawn to, but they raise the issue. I mean, straight to the point. They raise the issues, they answer. They raise the issue as raised by.
But did you see the
John
release
Jinapor
first? I mean, did you at any point see the release?
No, I only saw it when it was released.
Okay.
But I mean, these are very.
You saw that this particular release from John Jinapor.
Yeah, I saw
after the rebuttal.
No. I saw the release.
Okay.
And then, I mean, some few days later, it was rebutted by the technical people.
I'm just asking of your view on that, or you think that we should rely solely on what the committee has stated? No,
but you know, this committee, I mean, for the avoidance of doubt, I mean, it's a creation of law. I mean,
right, I get that.
Yeah, it's a creation of law.
Right.
And they do their work pursuant to, I think, Section 7 of the National Electricity Grid Code, and also, I think, Section 2, subsection 2C of the Energy Commission Act. So, I mean, the body is a creation of law. That's what I want to establish.
Absolutely.
So it is within their remit. I mean, and they have the mandate, among others,
right,
to provide planning reports on Ghana's power plant.
Right.
So, I mean, when such releases, no mean a person like John Jinapor comes, I think it was very much within their scope to come out with the real facts. So, I mean, I have seen their response, and I have no doubt that the response
settles it.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to pick your thoughts on that, but of course, you want us to deal with that. So we'll take a break at this point. When we come back, we'll deal with that rebuttal vis-a-vis what Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor had put out there, for which it got that rebuttal. So stay with us. Remember, you're going to call in to tell us whether or not you're experiencing that. Probably we could get some explanations to what exactly is happening in your area. Stay with us. I'm back, and we're truly excited that you can keep faith with us, and we're discussing the issues around Ghana's energy sector, and of course matters arising. Of course, people are asking whether Dumso is back or will be back shortly. Again, we're referring to reports or releases from the minority, especially on the ranking, from the ranking member on the Energy and Mines Committee, Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor, who had issued a very lengthy one stating the reasons why they say that Dumso is imminent. But of course, as in the studio today, communication specialist with the Ministry of Energy, Kofi Abrefafana, is my guest today. We're discussing what the real issues are as far as the Energy Ministry, those in charge of issues with energy is concerned. Now, if at all, at any point at all, we believe that there's enough, our generation capacity is okay and we might not have any issue, why the talk about it at some point by the minister as well? Because what the impression created was that there is a need to urgently do that. Otherwise, we're going to be plunged into some issues. You didn't get that impression?
Not at all. Not at all. Because at a recent minister's press briefing, the allusion that was made by the Honorable Minister to our generation capacity was in respect of the fact that if you look at our current peak demand, I mean, it is far less than our installed capacity. I mean, we are doing 5,000 and over, and then we have a peak demand of 3,000. So clearly...
So why bring out the issue of the need of generation capacity? There was nothing from the minister himself.
I mean, he hasn't said there's the need. Of course, there will be a need for generation capacity, I mean, at some point in Ghana's future.
Right.
I mean, as I said, I mean, we continue to plan. We continue to plan. I mean, you remember that, I mean, some power purchase agreements were being signed by the previous administration, I mean, on take or pay basis. I mean, it was a huge burden on the taxpayer. So what this government did was to make arrangements for the deferment of some of these power purchase agreements. So what we are trying to do now is to even try to bring some of these deferred on stream, because I mean building plans take time. So as we plan for the future, definitely we are going to need generation capacity added on at some point. But for anyone to say that doomsday is imminent in the next 2 to 3 years, that is what we are seeking to debunk, because the available data does not support such assertions. But definitely, as Ghana goes on in the next 10, 15 years, definitely we would have to add on. There are even people who even go ahead to say that this government has not added significantly to our generation capacity, when of course the data will tell you that we have added a total of 421 megawatts since 2017. What this government believes in is the prudent addition to our generation capacity. Because don't forget that if you also keep on adding, as was being done previously,
right,
I mean, without any planning, I mean, without any commensurate effect with our projections going into the future, what you get into is overcapacity. Overcapacity also has its associated issues. That is why we are paying excess capacity charges and all that. So these are matters that are very critical. They very much are central to the economy. I mean, they border on the taxpayers' contribution to nation building. So we believe that we have to add to the generation capacity prudently. I mean, we are not saying that we would not have to add at some point to our generation capacity. Not at all. But we are doing so prudently. And for anybody to say that doomsday is imminent within the next 2, 3 years, or even 5 years, I mean, the data, I mean, even and the analysis by the Energy Commission spanning 2023 to even 2027 will tell you that at all times, as per the projections, even our dependable capacity will far outweigh our peak demand.
I see. I mean, Claire, do we have Honorable on the line now? Okay. Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Very well. I'm too sure you followed the conversation already. The communication specialist from the Ministry of Energy is here. Again, first of all, you saw the rebuttal from the committee, the Power Planning Technical Committee. First, how did it come to you before I put some direct questions to you? How did it come to you, especially with what the clarifications that were given?
Who did you say is the communication specialist?
Kofi Abrefa-Afena is with the Ministry of Energy.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so first of all, what we did were two things. One, we all had the Vice President say that we've paid some 17 billion in relation to so-called excess capacity. Is that not the case?
Yeah, very well.
He said that. So we said that is factually inaccurate. It is false. And that they should put out the evidence. Is that not what we asked for?
Yes.
Has the communication specialist given you that evidence so that we can all peruse it?
Well, we've not touched on that bit yet. Probably
Okay,
he'll
so
take
all
notice.
we're asking for is the evidence, because the Vice President is not mean a person. And so when he makes a categorical statement, it's only fair that they provide us with that evidence. And so I would wish that the communication specialist would be kind enough to provide us with that evidence. Two,
Right.
is that the Energy Commission is the statutory body that has to advise us on planning when it comes to energy matters. Now, the Energy Commission just released the 2022 Energy Supply Plan. But
Right.
even as I'm talking to you, I'm trying to open that document.
Okay.
In that document, the Energy Commission itself advised, and fortunately I think I am there, so I would have to read for you.
Right.
And let me read. Additional capacity is needed to augment the existing generation facilities and the enlisted committed generation projects from year 2023 to meet projected demand with adequate reserve margin as required for reliability I'm not saying it. I mean, sometimes people, I don't know whether they don't know what they write by themselves. And I'll send you this document.
Right.
This is page Roman number V, last but 2 paragraphs. They've done the demand and then the available capacity, and they've done the projection. And when you look at the table, it says that for 2023, we would need 4,470. However, the total dependable generation is 4,660. Is that enough? If you need 4,000, about 4,700, and what you have is not enough, it doesn't meet. And they are saying that for 2023, we would need additional capacity. So if we say that, look, this document is cautioning that we need additional capacity, and that if we don't do the additional capacity, we are likely to have doom so. Where is the contradiction?
Well, they also stated that, I mean, with the rebuttal, and of course, what Mr. Afena has said here, the current installed capacity is 5,265.1 megawatts. Now, again, with the 4,706, that is dependable. You said that you would want, by the time you have enough.
Yes.
Even before 2023.
No, I'm saying that, my
right.
brother.
No, I'm talking about Afena, though.
No, if I may just reiterate so that he gets my point.
Okay.
I'm saying that in this document, not me, the document says that additional capacity is needed to augment the existing generation facilities. You say you have 5,000 existing, is that not it?
Right.
But they are saying that we need addition on these existing facilities and the enlisted committed generation. That even with your committed generation, we need additional capacity, which is required so that we can have adequate reserve margins as required for reliability. What they are saying is that we need a certain reserve margin because anything can happen. Is that not the case?
Right.
So they are saying it. I am not saying it unless what they are saying is not true. And that when we bring in this additional, then we have enough reserve margin so that we can have reliable power. It's as simple as that.
What it means is that the committee's rebuttal to your claims is contradicting that of the Energy Commission, because again, they are saying that the current dependable capacity is also higher than the projected peak demand, and so they are saying...
This is from the same committee, this document. This document was authored by that same committee.
Wow.
That same committee is saying that we need additional capacity so that it won't just be about dependable capacity. Beyond the dependable capacity, you will normally require some reserve margin, which is like insurance, because a plant can go down, the weather can change, the water level can reduce. But if we bring all this on board, then we can say that we have reliable power. If you don't bring this, it means that you don't have reliable power. And if you don't have reliable power, doom so can happen. And I don't even see the issue here.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, so I'm ready to listen to
absolutely.
If he wants to.
Absolutely. Mr. Afena, is there some issues you want to put out there?
Yeah,
because...
so specifically, I've heard my senior brother, the Honorable John Jinapo, raise these issues from last week and over the weekend. But this particular point he raises has been adequately responded to by the Power Planning Technical Committee. I mean, if you look at, I think the last but 2 paragraphs of their statement.
Item number 5?
Yeah, item number 5. It is very clear. And it is very much the same point being made. That additional generation capacity, and they raise the issues and then they respond. Additional generation capacity, and they are quoting from the press statement of Honorable John Jinapo.
Okay.
So, Honorable, if you have your press statement, you could refer. Respectfully.
Yes, so my brother, my press statement, I only quoted from this document.
And
this is the primary document from the Energy Commission.
And they have
it's
come
not
back,
my words.
And they have come back to correct an impression because, it is clearly as though the document was picked and then some spin was put on it. So that is the reason why.
I have no problem if you think there's a spin. We can deal with that. But I'm saying that is it true that this statement is contained in the Energy Commission's document or not?
And that is the reason they have come back to respond to you. And I am quoting from the statement by the Power Planning Technical Committee. And it says that the issue raised intimates a requirement of 184 megawatts, 187 megawatts, 114, 337 for the years 2023, 2024, 2026, and 2027, respectively, is only referring to a sensitivity analysis on capacity requirements in the event. And here's the technical expression. In the event that the Bui hydro plant is able to run only on 2 units instead of the 3 during the peak period. And they go.
No, so Honorable, wait, maybe he could conclude. Yeah.
And they go on to say, and they go on to say that the situation is rare and was analyzed only as a sensitivity scenario in the unlikely event of such a situation. So
the question right now for me.
So this is very clear.
Okay,
it is very clear.
Currently,
so he says he quoted from the documents of the Energy Commission and also the Power Supply, the Power Planning Committee.
Yes.
And this is the same committee.
Okay.
Very professional committee.
All right, so Honorable ones,
So
absolutely.
It is very clear. There's no confusion.
While you are dealing with it, Honorable, I want to know currently on what units the Bui hydro plant is running, so that we know what the future holds for us.
He should be telling us. But let me just deal with this.
Okay.
Afena, is that not him?
Yes, sir.
Why do we do sensitivity and scenario analysis?
Okay, I don't know about that. You can educate
do
us.
Scenario. If this happens, what happens? If this happens, what happens?
Okay.
Then you do sensitivity so that you prepare for that. If you say that you just did scenario analysis and that it won't happen, then why do you put it in your own document that additional capacity is needed?
But that is a true.
Please, let me deal with it.
That's a true.
No. Please, let's allow him. Yeah.
Let me deal with it. I have no problem if you want to interpret things. Let's ask for opinions. I'm entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours.
Absolutely. Sir.
But the fact is that in this document, they are recommending for additional capacity. Is it true or not? They are recommending because they envisage that there could be a scenario where only 2, like you are saying, from Bui will be running. And that when that 2 from Bui runs, we can have doom so. That is the scenario. And so they are advising that based on that scenario, let's prepare for that. It's like TV Africa. You do your scenario and say that maybe tomorrow, if it rains, the electricity might go off. So let's buy a standby generator and put it there. That is an insurance. It's not for anything that you do scenario analysis.
I see.
So this issue, this statement is completely unnecessary because your optimum scenario, you put it in your document. If they didn't see that scenario as a probability or a likelihood, they won't put it in this document that they themselves have published. It's as simple as that. That statement is an unnecessary statement they issued. That is a scenario. Yes, that scenario can happen. If that scenario was not going to happen, you will put it in your document. To the extent that you put it in your document, it means that that scenario can happen.
Can happen.
Other than that, why do we need the 18 reserve margin? The 18%, you don't consume it, but you pay for it in the unlikely event that a plant goes down, that we has a problem, that Akosombo has a problem, Ghana can still have reliable power. It's simple.
I see. So while I ask Mr. Fena to prepare to answer the 17 billion claim that the Vice President made of us paying for excess power, I also want to know currently the Bui hydro plant, what units is it running or how many? Because again, with the reports, it's only when it runs on 2 units, that's when we are in trouble and we'll need these excess, these further requirements. So tell me current, or do you have that information?
I mean, it's running on the 3.
On the 3.
Yeah, it's running on the 3. So,
okay.
So
I'll give you some information on Bui right now. I'm opening a document.
Okay, very well, sir.
And that is the reason why I cannot understand my senior brother John Jinapo, because I mean this is written in black and white.
But I asked a question. Maybe that could inform your explanation.
Yeah.
I asked a question from the beginning. Why there is the issue of additional capacity, additional generation of capacity. Meanwhile, now we have excess, because with that one, once you write a report and then you state it in there again, what the impression it could create is that there could be some dangers looming. Otherwise, why bring it up in the first place?
But I've indicated that as far as the Ghana power system is concerned, at all times there should be. There's vision attached to all of these things. So planning is ongoing. So we are not saying that we are not going to be needing additional capacity at some point. I have made that point.
Yes.
From which year?
Even before. Honorable John Jirapo, you seem to be the host. Can you allow me make a point? Can you allow me make a point, because I allow you flow respectfully.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So the point I'm making is that we haven't said that at a point. But of course, Ghana, because of population explosion and all that, we would have to, at a point, have a commensurating effect of our generation capacity with our demand. So it is very clear. But once again, let me come back just before I come to the 17 billion matter. It is clear, and this is English. It says the situation is rare. The situation is rare and was analyzed only as a sensitivity scenario in the unlikely event. Honorable John Jinapo,
so what it means is that
John Jinapo, you make analysis all the time, and you are able to state that in an unlikely event of something, it is part of a planning process.
Why did they not put that in the document?
It only affirms that this document is a very reliable document. It has been anchored on truth. Of course, you indicated that this morning's discussion is going to be anchored on truth.
Absolutely.
Because Ghanaians must know whatever is happening. We must keep them in the loop. And after all, transparency and accountability are the hallmarks of good governance. You understand?
By 2023,
yes,
there must be additional generation capacity of
which is
next year 184 megawatts. Are we ready for that? But clearly. Because we are running on 3, we might not need it.
Absolutely. It is clear. It is very clear. And this power planning technical committee, Honorable John Jinapo is well aware that they have the mandate, and these are a group of professionals. They have the mandate to develop the electricity supply plan, which feeds into the national plan. And I've already told you that it's a creation of law. So this statement of theirs is not even coming from the Ministry of Energy. It is coming from people who deem themselves as primary stakeholders in the very allegations he has come out with, and they have responded to him adequately.
I see.
So now on excess capacity,
on
excess capacity.
No, with the 17 billion.
Yes,
wait a minute. So let's stay on the. You wanted to give us a situational report
let me
on the.
Respond to him.
Yes.
No, we come back to that 17 billion.
Operational performance 2019, and right after this, I'll send it to you.
Okay, very well.
For instance, in 2018-19, we overdrafted the dam. Planned against actual. If you look at the actual and you look at the plan, they did so much drafting. Now, there's no argument again that there is an unlikely event. Is that not it? Let me take that's not in the document.
No, it's from the rebuttal.
Right. From the rebuttal, there's an unlikely event. What if that event happens?
Then we are in a realm of speculations and conjecture at this point.
No, you are saying that there's an unlikely event that will happen. What if it happens?
What if it doesn't happen?
Your own people. You see, when your people write, my brother, they should write so that we can all believe and trust what they do. Because they are supposed to be professionals. And like the host said, when you read that primary document, which is an official document, what you come to conclusion is that this country needs additional capacity. Is that the case or not? Now, after we have raised an issue that, look, hey, the poor people are telling us that we need additional capacity. Let's begin to take steps to get that additional capacity, or else we would have done so. Then they come back and say, no, what we have asked that we need additional capacity is only a scenario analysis. It's only a sensitivity. Then why put it in that document? So if I had not raised this, if I had not said that, look, 2022 supply plan says that we must have additional capacity, would somebody come and say, oh, no, we only put it there. We didn't mean it. It's only a scenario. It may not even happen. Is that how we govern?
I see.
Is that best practices?
Now
tell us the details of the 17 billion.
Yeah.
Please give the document to TV Africa.
Okay. The relocation, okay, before we go there, the relocation of the 250 megawatts Ameri power plant from Takrady to Kumasi was also one of those stated in the report, as you mentioned as well. Yes. You also got a response. They say the Ameri power plant is an existing plant which is only being relocated to enable the nation yield greater benefits from its operation. It does not constitute additional capacity.
Don't you understand my statement? There's been a debate about Ameri.
Right.
Hasn't there been that debate?
Absolutely.
That we don't even need Ameri.
Yes.
And I'm saying that, look, after all, Ameri has a benefit.
Okay.
Because you want to take it to Kumasi so that you can shore up power supply and improve system reliability. Because the Ameri plant is a modular plant of 10 units, totaling 250 megawatts. So if they take it to Kumasi, because Kumasi, they are struggling now. The power situation is not good there. So if Ameri is going to solve a problem, then it means that Ameri, after all, is good. That's one. Two, the minister himself says that Ameri can give us $31 million from exports. So, one, Ameri is going to improve power. Two, it means that we can export power. The issue of exporting power has been a debate, has that not been? They say our power is too expensive. Ghana's power cannot be exported. In this same document, we are exporting 300 megawatts. You see, all the issues I'm raising and quoting, it's not me. I'm referring to this document because I hold this document as a factual document. When you levelize it for the 20 years, because Americans stay for 20 more years,
right,
it means that we are getting over $600 million from the Ameri plant.
Absolutely.
And then I finally make the point that now that we finish paying for Ameri, it means that our weighted cost of generation has come down. So even Ameri can help us to have a reduction in electricity tariff.
Right.
And then they went beating about the bush and saying that it doesn't mean additional capacity. I haven't said that.
I see. You were shaking your head to that? I mean, clearly it's clear that Ameri is useful, according to them.
No, but of course.
According to the report.
No, but of course, I mean, at all times, I mean, efforts to increase our generation capacity has never been poo-pooed by anybody. But the argument was Ameri was contracted at what cost? I mean, the argument ab initio has been that Ameri was contracted at what cost? But of course, we have moved on. Now we are looking at sending Ameri to Angomaso to stabilize the middle parts of the country. That has been the argument. So.
No, also he's responding to. No, I mean, I thought he was making a point that the issue of Ameri. I mean, we all knew what happened prior to the 2016 elections with Ameri and all that. So I think he also wants to.
Yeah, but of course, the argument had been ab initio. The argument had been about at what cost, contracted at what cost. I don't want to go into those matters.
No, but if we have to, let's go.
No, because at the end of the day, we are trying to let the people of Ghana know that there is no risk of doom so, because the current infrastructure and the current data available does not point to that.
Is the challenge not about taking the entire credit? I'm too sure that's with the opposition and with you. And I'm sure when you leave power someday as well, that's going to be to the give us credit for doing so and so. Give us credit. I think that's all there is.
But of course, if government is a continuum and you do something and then somebody comes and some of these matters.
I only want us always to be on a same level playing field so that we understand.
No, Bakoku, the issue about Ameri had always been at what cost? At what cost? That had been the argument, ab initio. But to move Ameri from its current position to Kumasi, Angomaso, to stabilize the middle parts of the country, I mean that is very much,
and beyond that exploitation as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is very much ideal to do under our current circumstances, because we want to stabilize the middle parts, of course, which will have an overarching effect on the national grid and all that.
So I think that's clear. It's made clear. So let's now move to the 17 billion. There's been the issue of excess capacity, payment of excess capacity. That's what plunged us into a lot of trouble.
So I want to ask Honorable John Jinapor, is he saying that Ghana has not paid a dime in terms of excess capacity?
No, I think first of all, so I'll ask him that, because I was also looking for answers here and looking for those answers from the opposition. And I was told that no, I should go back to whoever made the claim. So can you state?
No, because in all of these things, I have not seen a statement, a public statement, or any matter of public record seeking to, as it were, contradict the 17 billion as pronounced by the
John Dramani Mahama, the former president, stated that at the Crossroads event.
And he says it's which figure? It's which figure? So which figure has come to contradict the 17 billion?
How about you give us,
which figure?
Do you have details if you don't?
No, of course, I can always furnish you the details.
Okay.
Yes, I can always furnish the details.
Okay.
But as at now, Honorable John Jinapor, has he on any public platform contradicted or provided contrary figures to the effect that the 17 billion as quoted by the venerable Vice President of the Republic of Ghana is not the case? He hasn't. So all he does is to go out there and then seek to, as it were, discredit the Vice President that the 17 billion as quoted is wrong.
Shouldn't it be about
and that is the reason
whoever alleges must prove? Because if it's the 17 billion, then he should be able to give us details. I mean the Vice President.
No, but I'm saying that is Honorable John Jinapor able to tell us that, I mean, from where he sits, he's very much aware that Ghana hasn't paid a dime in terms of capacity charges. Because we are saying 17 billion. If you have contrary figures to that, I mean, bring it so that we debate. I mean, it's just a matter of sitting down around the table and saying that these are the numbers. These are the numbers. And on the back of the numbers that you have, you are refuting, or as it were, rebutting the claim as put out there by the Vice President. As at now, we have paid 17 billion, and I have no...
Ghana cedis or dollars?
Absolutely, Ghana cedis. I mean, it's Ghana cedis. And as at now, I don't have any public record or any public... if you like, contradiction of the figures as put out by the Vice President.
Where can I find the details of that? Because again, I'm not too sure.
I'll share with you, Kuku.
It helps us in terms of whether or not Doomsday will come back or not. But I think people's integrity is at stake.
Absolutely.
Of course, that of the Vice President.
Absolutely.
That of the former President, former energy ministers.
No, but Kuku, you think somebody of the stature of the Vice President will come out? I mean, not knowing what he's talking about. For Christ's sake, he's the chairman of the economic management team. I have told you that these excess capacity charges we have paid have been a toll on the Ghanaian taxpayer. And don't forget that this 17 billion Ghana cedis we are talking about could have been even invested in free SHS. It could have been invested in roads. It could have been invested in infrastructure. So if you do not have contrary figures to, as it were, refute what the Vice President has put out. We take it. Don't come and say, but of course, you come onto the table with a rebuttal, refuting that no, we have paid 6 billion instead of the 17 billion you are saying.
Again, for me, I know the Vice President is a man that understands and knows the power of data.
Absolutely.
So when John Dramani Mahama, the former president, comes out, His Excellency, to speak about His Excellency Mahmoud Baumia, doctor, should also come out and back these claims with data.
And His Excellency, the former president, provided figures?
No, that's what I'm saying, that
he provided figures.
If it's understood,
but of course,
that whoever alleges...
but of course, the man in the helm of affairs is telling you, the Ghanaian people who entrusted the mandate of governance, that on the back of what we have come to meet, excess capacity charges we have had to pay amounts to 17 billion Ghana cedis.
Right.
And in the face of no available figure to contradict this figure, you say we shouldn't believe him? What are you talking about?
Do we still have Honorable on the line? Right, so we're trying to get him back on the line, so we can speak. Are you able to also speak to the current proposition of increment in tariffs and all that? All right, so I think it's back on. Honorable, can you hear me?
I can hear you, my brother.
Very well. I'm too sure you heard the response from Mr. Afena.
Did he provide you with a document on the 17 billion?
No, he says because you have also not provided data, that should be left at that. Indeed, the Vice President has said that.
We should provide data on what?
the 17 billion, I mean, contrasting views.
Yes.
If there's a different view, it's the onus lies on you to provide. That's according to Mr. Fene.
Away from this one. The vice president held a program and told the whole nation that we've paid 17 billion cedis in excess capacity. And we said, no. We disagree with you because the Minister of Finance appeared before us on the floor of Parliament. Mm-hmm. And at Parliament, when you peddle falsehood, it's perjury. When we asked him how much we've paid to the IPPs, the minister said $940 million. When you convert that, it's not even up to 6 billion. This is in the Hansard, it's on record. So we say no, the Minister of Finance cannot tell us that we've paid less than 6 billion. And the Vice President then comes to say that we've paid 17 billion. So provide us with that evidence to substantiate your claim. And he says that we should provide counter evidence.
Well,
you know what the
yes.
communication specialist is saying?
Yes, sir.
Hey, communication specialist.
Honorable John Jinapo. Honorable John Jinapo. I'm saying that you are trying to say that the vice president mentioned 17 billion and then the finance minister
yes.
has come to. But I'm saying that if you have any figure to contradict what the vice president is saying, I mean, why don't you bring it?
You see,
Chairman, that is the point I'm making.
Spokesperson, I'm sure a lot of people who are watching it.
No, I think he's responding to that, so maybe you can.
No, I think that, look, this is a serious matter. We are doing serious business. I'm saying that as a member of parliament, we filed an official question. The Minister of Finance, who does the payment, says that it's not up to 6 billion. The Vice President goes for a political program with TESCOM MPP members and says that 17 billion. And we say provide evidence. And the spokesperson, not an ordinary person, the spokesperson of the ministry, instead of bringing the evidence, says that we, who did not make that claim, we should go and look for counter information and come and counter the vice president.
No, but Honorable John Jinapo, the point is that is it your assertion that we haven't paid a dime in terms of excess capacity?
No, just that the figures are different. I think what I'm getting is that the finance minister gave a different figure. The vice president also made a different claim. So this time, I'm too sure in between the finance minister and the vice president, the energy ministry should be able to furnish us with the exact figures, whether or not it's with the 17 billion or about the 6 billion Ghana cedis with the finance ministry. I think the Ministry of Finance, the energy, should be able to finish us. I'm sure that's the understanding I'm getting. Clearly, I mean, I'm too sure we might not get the answers here. Let's move so I want us to agree on one thing here in between the Honorable and you. By 2023, if we're still running on the 3 units with BUI, what it means is that we might not need additional capacity of the 180 megawatts that has been stated. Is that what I get?
Yeah, the statement is very clear. I mean, the statement from the Power Planning Technical Committee is very clear.
It's very clear. So we should take that in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And once
Can
again,
I make my point on that?
A few seconds so that we take a break and come back again.
It was done on the back of a sensitivity scenario analysis.
And that's it. All right, Honorable, can you hear me?
I'm sure viewers are getting very, very confused about this. Look, next time you are publishing a document such as the energy supply plan, if you are not sure of what you are putting it, don't put it there.
Right.
Because we read your document, and the document says that existing capacity would not be enough, and that we need additional. Now, when we raise that, then they now come and say, oh no, what we put there, we did scenario analysis. And I'm saying, even that scenario, it can happen. So let's begin to prepare as a nation. It's as simple as that. You can do your politics if you want us to. But I'm saying that based on that document from the Energy Commission,
right,
they are advising that, look, we should get additional capacity. But even with this existing capacity, he is the spokesperson. They've included AXA.
Okay.
So they've included AXA, a 370 megawatt plant. That AXA plant, the contract expires next month, just this month. Next month, the 5-year period is done. In the whole projection that they've made, they've included AXA. What it means is that we need that AXA plant after all.
Okay, again, so
you said a double standard.
Absolutely. We'll take a break at this point. When we come back, Honorable, I'll ask these questions, and clearly it's about the proposition of the utility, the increments, and also a JAPA, which you said you're going to vehemently, and I'll get to ask you that.
But please, as we go on break, we can try and see maybe we can get a Zoom.
The Zoom, absolutely.
Let's try.
So we'll take a break at this point. When we come back, Mr. Afena is still here. Of course, Mr. John Jinapo, who will be joining us in the studio sometime, some week coming, will also still stay with us on Zoom or via phone. Stay with us. All right, so welcome back. And I'm still here with Kofi Abrefa Afena, communications specialist from the Ministry of Energy. Pretty soon, we're going to be having Honorable John Abdullah Jinapo joining us via Zoom this time, not the call. Again, all things being equal. But I promised asking that particular question. Today, we are faced with a proposition by ECG to the PURC to have 148% increment in tariffs as far as our bills are concerned. Now, I understand that after every 2 years, I hear that there must be increments, but there is a quarterly adjustment, automatic adjustment, that was removed. First question, why was it removed? For which now people, the citizens would have to pay a lump sum, because lumping it all together this time puts a lot of pressure on the citizens. Why was that automatic adjustment removed?
First of all, it must be established that this thing that the ECG is seeking to do is not a novelty
at all.
I mean, it's
I stated that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a novelty. I mean, you can go back in time. I mean, they've always submitted proposals.
Absolutely.
And at best, what they submit to the PURC is a wish list. I mean, that they seek to, if you like, have actualized.
Right.
So they have spoken about the justifications about, getting this increment, 148%, of course. And on the back of that, PURC, after hearing them, is also doing some consultations. Now, the point is that the PURC would do this broader consultations, and then I believe will come out with what is in the best interest of Ghanaians. And don't forget that when this government took over the reins of governance in 2017, I mean, there was no tariff increment, if you recall.
Yeah, so the question I'm asking then is that...
So I'm building a point.
Right,
so I'm building a point.
Absolutely.
I'll come to your point. In 2018, there was even a 25% reduction, if you recall.
Okay.
2019 increased by 11%. And then now it has become, if you like, it has become important that there is an increment. I mean, what they are proposing, ECG is proposing, is not cast in stone. They have submitted their proposals, and I heard spokespersons of the ECG, trying to justify the reason why they feel that these increments should be allowed. So we await to hear the PURC after their broader consultations to come out with what is best.
So you don't have answers to ask whether they have taken away the automatic adjustment? Because for me, that would have helped the citizens pay in bits. Because if you have to pay, you pay in bits. Now, when you lump it, 50 Ghana cedis if you're paying electricity bill previously. Now, if that is in motion, you're going to pay 100 and something.
But you remember
the difficulties right now faced by
in 2019 when it was reduced. I mean, it was reduced for residential and even some industrial consumers. You are aware. On this automatic tariff adjustment matter, I mean, the conversation is still ongoing as to whether you give a reprieve as to at a point in time, and then try to, in a very sustainable manner, try to cushion the people going forward. But all
so
of
we wait for the
all of these things are conversations that
we could
are going on, because as I said, I mean, I can share the PURC's very schedule with you. They are having a very broad consultation aimed at getting Ghanaians pay realistic.
Is it not the case again that just as we've seen with the e-levy consultations, the town halls, no matter what the rejection was from the people, we still had to be paid We still had to pay it. Are we not still going to see PURC again? You don't speak for PURC.
Are you sure?
preempting?
Are you sure that e-levy was rejected by Ghana?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
We are not in the same country.
That Ghanaians are not willing.
Maybe you are wearing jacket. I'm wearing a Kofi Gold attire.
That Ghanaians are not willing to support the nation building
Of
efforts
course
of
they
this
are,
government.
but that particular tax is what people, and I can tell you.
I mean, let's make progress. But
No,
I'm
the
saying
progress
that,
I'm saying
yes,
is,
so I'm
okay,
saying
you,
that.
you don't speak for PRC.
Yes, no, I'm
okay,
saying
let me
that.
come to another question. So
Okay.
I'm not too sure you can answer that. Let me come to this particular one. So the fact is, production cost has increased. So ECG would have to also increase the tariff at this. Now, what it means is that if they don't get this, we could be plunged into darkness because Gridco suffers, the power generation the point suffers, and of course the distributor is only telling you what must be paid for so that we can help the system.
I mean, there is no difficulty admitting that the ECG as a body corporate has some operational difficulties currently. I mean, and their operational difficulties, I mean, arises from technical losses, commercial losses, generation losses, what have you. All right, so the ECG is already on a trajectory of gaining viability, I mean, as a company. Now, the point is that ECG's, I mean, position currently as against, is distinguishable from, I mean, the issue of doom. So I mean, sometimes I struggle. I struggle to because I mean, you talk about power challenges, and of course, I mean that is where you are going. I know that's where you're going because
clearly we're talking about power, but I'm saying
the argument must be clearly distinguishable. I mean, we must delineate the issues very clearly. The point is that ECG's position as a company trying to go forward currently as a result of operational difficulties, commercial losses and all that must be distinguishable from our future in terms of our generation needs. And that point has been made quite clearly here. So what I'm saying is that ECG's position in terms of the 148% as they are proposing, I mean, it's at best it's a wish list.
So it just has to do with ECG, and it doesn't go beyond to production. It just has to do with ECG. Is that what I get from you?
No. The point I'm making is that, I mean, all of these things must not be looked at, for example, in isolation. The point is that
the Ghanaian wants to know.
Yes.
No, Afena, maybe you didn't get my question.
Okay.
The
Let me
Ghanaian would
understand
want to know whether the non-payment of 148% proposition that they've made to PARC could plunge us, because clearly it sounds too much, even though it's the right thing to do. Yeah, of course, tariffs would have to be increased.
Yes.
What will be the worst case scenario?
I don't think so. I don't think that, I mean, in the event that ECG doesn't get 148%, it will plunge us into any difficulty.
You don't?
I don't think so at all.
Okay.
At this point, we all want ECG to get back into good standing. I mean, it's our company. I mean, it's our distribution company. I mean, don't forget, ECG in all our power purchase agreements is the off-taker because it is the distributor. Okay? It is the distributor. So it is in our own interest as Ghanaians for ECG to get back to work. And I am saying that at best, what they have proposed to the PRC, and don't forget, Ghana Water Company has also done same. You are aware, right?
Yes, of course,
Ghana
about
Water,
300.
Yeah, Ghana Water Company has done same.
About 300%.
Yes, it has done same. At best, it is a wish list. Let's await. I mean, we should adopt a wait and see attitude, because the PRC, obviously, that has the mandate in these matters, would, at the end of the day, I believe, and I have no doubt, do what is in the best interest of the Ghanaian populace by letting us pay realistic tariffs.
And this is not okay, you are leaving that. Do we have Honorable Jirapo back? All right, so we're still, all right, very well, because we're about wrapping up. I would have loved to get his thoughts on that particular one. All right, so that is that. There was a message that came through here. Let me see if I could read that. The MPP members have gone. No, that word is too harsh, all right? And they don't know what to do to brainwash Ghanaians. The failure of Akufo-Addo government has turned its members just like a flag swinging according to the direction of the wind. Ghanaian will never forget about the bad work of these governors. That's Abbas Amogobo from Ofin. So please, when you're writing, let's use temperate languages, all right, so that I could share it with the rest of the world. And so that is that. The issue of PURC and all that. Do we have Honorable on the line? Because I clearly cannot put a Japan. All right, Honorable, can you hear me? All right, Honorable, can you hear me? All right, Honorable, can you hear me, sir? Hello.
I can hear you.
Very well. Forgive us. The next time we'll have you on Zoom, or probably we want to have you in the studio as well. I was talking about the issue of the proposition made by the ECG to PURC, 148% increment. Again, we understand that it's a usual thing to do after every 2 years or 3 years, I hear, and there's an automatic adjustment that was taken off, for which we have to pay the lump sum. I was asking why that was taken off, but I'm not too sure I got that clearly. Again, I was also asking whether if we do not pay that increment to that tune, we could be plunged to darkness. And clearly, from the Energy Ministry's perspective, nothing of that sort would happen.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm surprised that the automatic tariff adjustment formula was suspended. I'm not aware of that. Because as far back as 2018, 2019, thereabout, tariffs were announced. And I have the tariff announcements here. In 2020, all of that, they've always announced tariffs. That's why I said I disagree with ECG asking for a tariff adjustment reflecting 2019, 2020, 2021. Those years have been dealt with. And the PRC under Act 538, I think Section 2A, if my memory serves me right, they are supposed to set tariffs. That's why when the president started announcing tariffs, we got worried. Because when the president announced that reduction, Gridco's financial ratios began to deteriorate. And so Agence France de Développement, we suspended the funding they were giving to them.
Okay.
Now these agencies are saying that those reductions and the inability of the PRC to work has led to some huge debt accumulation. So they want 148%. You see, people must be held liable for this quagmire that we find ourselves. It's most unfortunate. The essence of the automatic tariff adjustment system is to forestall the situation where you'll be asking for a 148% increment. Finally, I do hold the view that the cost of generation is going to go down drastically. And I just told you that Ameri is now a legacy plant. We've paid for it. It's now our plant. So for the next 20 years, we won't be paying capital recovery again. The AXA plant, we've paid the capital recovery. And this government says that they don't believe in take-or-pay, even though they've got to sign a take-or-pay agreement. So if the Ameri plant and the AXA plant, with a combined effect of more than 600 megawatts, is no more a take-or-pay and has no capacity charges, it should reduce the weighted average cost of generation drastically.
I see.
The only thing that is going to affect us is the exchange rate. And it's because of this government, the way they've handled the economy. Because the exchange rate has gone down. So that is where maybe there could be some possible increment. Other than that, I think that what they are asking for is uncalled for. It just doesn't meet the requirement. But fortunately, the Mines and Energy Committee is meeting the PURC on Friday.
Okay.
And so the minority side, we've been doing a lot of scenario analysis. You do the scenario analysis and choose the optimum scenario, and then use that to do your projections and planning.
Finally, this one is to you. Ejapa is back, and it's also because Forbes recognized the Minerals Income Investment Fund. That's the driver for this particular one. Again, you have stated that you vehemently reject it. But you are one man down in Parliament. What it means to me is that if it appears in Parliament or anywhere at all, either executive orders or Parliament, you are down. How would you reject this? Is this just by press conference and all that? How are you going to do this?
This same deal came to Parliament when we were just 106. They used their numbers to bulldoze it through under certificate of urgency. It has crashed. The president said they should bring it back to Parliament. We would stand firm and do what is right and proper. And let posterity judge us. For me, that's the most important thing. It's about doing what is right. Do we really need to spend all our future receivables? Look, gas fund is gone. Energy sector levies, the revenues are gone. NHIS, the revenues are gone. Even e-levy, the minister says that he can't promise that he won't collateralize it. So if you collateralize all these monies, in future, when we have a problem like we had with COVID, we had to go into the stabilization fund and pick over 1.2 billion. President Mahama could have decided to collateralize revenues arising from stabilization. If he had done so, with the advent of COVID, how would we have survived? So we should rather be building buffers. This attempt and idea that we must spend everything today is not the best.
I see.
And let me say that as far as we are concerned, dead on arrival.
I see. Let's have you come to the studio. I bring you greetings.
I will.
I bring you
really
greetings.
wish I was there.
I bring
regards to my communication specialist.
I hear you. I bring you greetings also from your research assistant, Vashina Numas, who is a best friend of mine. So greetings to you.
Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you.
All right, wish you all the best. Thank you very much for your time. And that's Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo, MP for Yape Gushego constituency. Of course, my man here, Mr. Afena. Anyway, so Dumso is not coming back.
Absolutely. I mean, Dumso. I mean, there's no such risk.
Okay.
We have enough generation capacity.
Right.
I mean, John Jinapo, the honorable.
No, we are not starting an
the
argument.
honorable. No, of course. But of course, I know he's gone, so we are not starting an argument. He could put all the spin on the ESP, electricity supply plan.
Right.
Quoting portions. For example. For example, I mean, as we wrap up, for example, he says that it is equally revealing that the reports that they claim that Ghana has excess gas leading to capacity payments are false. Indeed, the report rather recommends that efforts are being made to increase available gas supply. And I mean, this point has also been rebutted.
I see.
Okay, so there's no risk of doom. So, as I said, I mean, just like your car. You would wake up in the morning and think that it will drive you smoothly to your workplace or your destination, but then midway it develops a fault. I mean, that is the very nature of machines we are dealing with. So as and when there are trips because of low gas pressure or anything at all, it doesn't mean doomsday is back. I mean, these are intermittent challenges that we are working assiduously to ensure that we surmount.
Thank you very much. You are lucky also that Yvonne Nelson is here to speak about movie. Otherwise, we would have dealt with Doomso as well.